If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Present.
I had to say that one more time.
Okay.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers?
Present.
Trustee Suisse?
Present.
Trustee Berrien?
Present.
Mayor Yurkovich?
Present. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Then the meeting can begin. First thing we're going to have is a recognition to the outgoing official, Trustee Mike Costa. This will be his last night. We're all going to miss him. He has done so much for this village and for the residents that are here, the sports clubs that are here. It's going to be, especially to me, it's going to be a very big loss. But I'm also very happy for you. Sometimes being involved in the politics, you kind of lose your life. It gets very hectic. This gets very full, and you don't know how to handle some things. He's always kept me in check. So I definitely am going to miss Mike. But some of the things that he's accomplished. He was a Homer Stallion football coach. He did the organizing and volunteering at the township Halloween party for all the kids. He served as a township trustee for 4 years. He's a member of the Homer Township 4th of July Parade Committee, and that's been forever. Member of the Village Parks and Recreation Committee from 2007 to 2011. Mike was elected in the Village of Homer Glen the past 8 years. Appointed to the Public Services and Safety Committee in 2009, serving as co-chairman until 2016. He's been on the Admin and Finance Committee 2014-2015, member of the Special Events Committees 2010 to 2013, but even there it's longer. He's been still doing it. It's 2017 now. As with the Home Township Parade Festival, Mike was a very big influence in between. Well, we always have a good group of people that worked it, and it was actually a fun committee to be on. He was instrumental in implementing the Special Needs Day at Homer Fest. He was Master of Ceremonies at the Birthday Arbor Day, Homer Harvest Days Committee member from 2011, 2015, and a Mike Hike volunteer. To me, besides all that, like I said, my friend, and I hope we never lose touch. And I'm very honored to work with you, and I wish you the best. Thank you. With that being said, we'll let everyone here that has something to say, because I mean, somebody who's only worked for him for a couple of years, and Sharon's working for 4 years, most of the staff. So rather we babble on, we'll let
Mike, I've only been on the board with you here for 2 years, but met you many years ago. My wife and I first moved to Homer, and so I've gotten to know you in some different ways. But the one thing that I knew about you from the first time I met you, and that holds true today, after spending the last 2 years working together here and looking up to you as somewhat of a mentor, is that you have always had the community and the best for the community as your #1 priority. You've always been, for what I consider to be, in it for all the right reasons. And for that, I think you should be commended. And you're going to be sorely missed, in your expertise and your experience and your common sense is going to be sorely missed. but certainly wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He stole the words out of my mouth. That's my mentor, my dad. You will be missed.
Thank you. We
I
still
appreciate
get,
all your guidance.
thank you. We still get confused. I have residents coming up to me asking if I'm going to sing at the fest.
Yeah,
And
you truly will be
I
missed.
said, no, I'm told.
Yeah. Good luck.
I want to thank you, Mike, for all your help. I mean, we've had some long conversations, going back and forth with, different ideas and things like that, and you were my mentor as well, and I will really miss you.
I appreciate the time that you've given this village. Me just being involved in the past 2 years, it's amazing the amount of time you have to take away from your family and your friends, and you miss out on events and things like that your family sometimes don't understand. Well, why are you going there? Because you made a commitment to this community. And I appreciate all the years that you've given us. And I'm so happy for you in the next phase of your life, being able to just spend more time with your family and grow from there. And I'm going to miss your common sense as well, because you really do. You have always put the other first, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I agree. So, now, Elaine, where do you want me to go?
Right in front of where you are.
All right, so just stand up right here.
Sure.
Come on, Mike. We want to present, actually, I would like it when they just start taking some pictures of this as you go too. The key to the Village of Homer Glen, presented to Michael Costa, Village Trustee, 2017. Village of Homer Glen is highest distinction of recognition as a key to the village. This key is presented to the Village Trustee, Mike Costa, in recognition of his outstanding dedication and service to the residents of the Village of Homer Glen, Illinois. Presented on behalf of the residents of the Village of Homer Glen this 26th day of April 2017. Show your picture there. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I would appreciate if you would say a few things.
I was doing real good until I looked at Sharon. And she picked up a tissue. But thank you all. George, we've been friends. Like I said, one thing that we've been able to do is keep our professional and our private lives separate. No matter if we agree or disagree on an issue, when the meeting was over with, it was over with, and it was when are we going to meet for breakfast, buddy? George likes to get up early. I used to like to get up early. So our 6 o'clock breakfast, I still look forward to doing that with you, George. But thank you, everybody. It's difficult to do after so many years of not only being trustee, but also volunteering in the community. Started back in 1994. And I really don't know what it's like having 2 weeks in a row without a meeting. So it's going to be different. But this board, we're such a great group of people here. It's been an honor and pleasure working with you. One thing I can say is we've agreed or disagreed on the board, and we've always kept it professional, and we respect each other's comments, and that's what's important. And we respect the residents and businesses and everybody in the community, so that's what's important for the board. Of course, to our staff, nobody really knows everything that they do. We get a packet anywhere from 80 pages, which I really like. I think our biggest was about 200 plus 80 pages. So they take all the information that they get from residents, businesses, committees, other things happening in town, and they get this packet ready for us every 2 weeks. And in between all that, take care of the day-to-day operation of the village, residents coming in with their concerns. And then, of course, 6 trustees and mayor and the rest of the staff that are calling them, asking them to look into a sump pump that's discharging on a neighbor's property because we got called on it. So, to the staff, thank you so much. I know there's times at 7:30, 8:30 at night, we come into Village Hall, we still have staff working. One particular night, which got me a little bit, and I know, Beth, I think we both agree on this one, and we all do. It was about 8:30, quarter to 9 on a holiday weekend, and we get our package sent to us from one of the staff members, but I'm not going to mention Heather's name because I don't want to embarrass her. And here we are at home, and she's here with other staff members getting this packet on a holiday weekend, already starting to have fun with our neighbors and friends, and at 8:30 at night, she's still here making sure we have our packet ready. And Heather is just one of all of our staff that do this continually, so thank you so much. It made our lives easier, and I know we all appreciate that. To the residents, committees, I just can't say enough. I've made so many friends over the years. Heavy to heart, but it's been great. And to Keith, congratulations. I'll tell you a quick story and then I'm going to shut up because usually I don't talk as much at meetings anymore. About 13 or 14 years ago, I was at a community function sitting with our past supervisor, Bud Fazio. And Bud said, Mike, you ever think of getting into politics? And he said, people in this community like you, that they respect you, you've been very involved, the sports, what you do, every time we turn around, you're someplace doing something. Of course, every time he sees me at that function, he was also there too, volunteering. So I said, Bud, I really don't know anything about politics. And he said, well, let me tell you something. He said, it's 80% common sense and 30% knowledge. And I said, wait, Bud, you were a high school teacher. He says, it's 80 and 30. He said, you have to give 110% of yourself when you're sitting on this side of the room. He said, just like you've done with the sports groups and serving there and any voluntary community. So I can just say to you, the 80% common sense you have because you recognize that you want to be part of our community growth, and the 30% knowledge you get is going to be from staff, your fellow trustees, and from the residents and the business owners here. So be available, that's what they're looking for, and I'm sure you will be, but congratulations to you. And once again, thank you everybody very much.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of April 12th, 2017 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
Trustee Caprio,
I'll second.
Trustee Suisse, any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barrett?
Aye.
And then all in favor say aye. Aye. Schedule of accounts payable. Is there a motion to approve the accounts payable for the period of March 24th, 2017 through April 27th, 2017?
So moved.
Trustee Costa?
Second.
Trustee Burien, discussion? Nothing? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barrett?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll go on to reports and communications from the mayor. The Lieutenant Governor recognized the village of Homer Glen and other partners for shared services. Lieutenant Governor Evelyn Sanguinetti visited Village Hall on Thursday, April 13th to recognize the village of Homer Glen, Homer Township, and the Highway Department for several intergovernmental partners for their ongoing efforts to promote shared services and cooperation among local local units of government. Since incorporation, the Homer Township Road District has served as the village's public works department. The joint effort between the village and the township is one of 27 example cities in 2016 Journal of Local Government Shared Service Best Practices, published by the Lieutenant Treasurer's Office. It just goes to show you that we can get things done right. We can get things done for a good cost, and it saves everyone a long time. We get the wonderful fire department, we get the highway department, the township. This is one group that everyone interacts with each other, all get along with each other, and we trust each other. So to all of you, I thank you. Village of Homer Glen National Survey. Be on the lookout for the National Citizen Survey in your mailbox this week. If your household was selected to participate in the survey, you will receive a postcard in the mail. Informing that you have been selected to participate, survey pamphlets will then arrive at participants' households by the end of this week. Please complete the survey and return it in by mail. It's postage-paid envelope that's included with the survey. Your participation in the survey is very important. Only 1,500 households in the village were randomly chosen to participate. So for more information, please call Village Hall at 708-301-0632 or email villageofhomerglen.il.org. With that, we'll go to the trustees, and we'll start with Trustee Gabriel.
Reporting on behalf of the Parade and Festival Committee, we are having our fest, as I replayed the last 3 meetings. Thursday, June 22nd through June 25th. Special lead day will be Friday. The township is taking applications for volunteers. We'd like everyone who needs their service hours for schooling and whatnot to please volunteer with the township. We are offering a credit card this year for payment of your mega passes. By the way, the township's number is 708-301-0522. The credit cards and mega passes will be on sale May 30th, starting that day. So please, at the Village Hall. And so please understand that and report that and pass that on to your neighbors. And I have a full report coming in the next meeting. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gabriel. Trustee Suisse.
Thank you, Mayor. It's going to be one of my shortest ones. Stargazing, I just want to remind everybody, stargazing is this Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. at the Trantina Farm, and that's dependent upon the weather. Please check the village's Facebook page or the website for any updates or cancellations due to the weather. The village is still looking for volunteers for the Earth Day Arbor Day event, which is taking place on May 20th, and that's at Kono's Farm from 11 to 4. Please contact the village if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Suisse. Trustee Rogers.
Reporting on behalf of public safety, we have the radars up right now on Derby, 139th and Crystal Tree. Sat down with the Sheriff's Department today and went through the Sky Cloud program, which is a program that monitors and gives us the feedback on the radars and what we're doing. So they will now have their own login into that system so they themselves can monitor the times where they're seeing some speeders and do some extra patrolling in those areas. And looking at the reports that we were looking at today, everything seems to be very positive.
Thank you, Trustee Rogers. Trustee Costa.
Very briefly, Mayor, I had just something I wanted to add from a few minutes ago. George, you touched on something about, when you're sitting up here, you're an elected official, your family realizes that you're not around much, that you have commitment. Sitting here tonight, my daughter. So, Joe, thank you for your understanding. Of course, while she was growing up, my sons are working, so they couldn't be here, but while she was growing up, we all instill in our kids that when you make a commitment, you see it through no matter what. So you certainly have to practice what you preach. But Joe, thank you for your understanding. That's all.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I don't know what I would have done without it. Trustee Bergen.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Village Treasurer.
Yes, Mayor, I have the Treasurer's Report of Cash and Investments at March 31, 2017. It shows the general fund with a balance of $5,081,158.91. The 11 months into the fiscal year, we should achieve a pretty significant surplus in the general fund, somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000, as was forecasted in the budget document. The special event fund had a balance of $62,583. The environment fund had a balance of $76,503.92. The motor fuel tax fund had a balance of $3,639,643.79. The park and recreation fund had a balance of $2,826,896.07. And the debt service fund had a balance of $1,791,831.86. The capital project fund had a balance of $1,025,608.83. The DAB tree replacement fund had a balance of $422,172.43. And the last fund, the capital project bond fund, had a balance of $14,891,167.28 for a grand total, all funds, $29,817,566.09. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, John. Village Clerk?
We are having a banner here for Homerfest this year. The sponsorships are rolling in, but we are certainly appreciative of more. We've got a lot of new businesses or new business owners as well. So if anybody has any questions or want to sponsor Homerfest, they should just give us a call here at 301-0632. I just want to touch on Mike Costa. I met him about 10 or 11 years ago when I first started getting involved locally. One of the first things I had to do was with Homer Stallions, organizing our year to host cheer competition, and we really struggled to get volunteers. And even though he no longer had kids in the program, he still showed up for the entire day, which was like 8 hours. And I didn't really know you then, and I'm like, that's so nice. So I mean, it just goes to show what kind of person you are, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. All set in?
Yep.
Village Attorney?
Thank you, Your Honor. Trustee Costa, just wanted to tell you it was a pleasure to work with you. And I look forward to many meetings when you step out there with Mr. Coy and address the board. No, but you have a great job. That's all I have.
Public safety officials?
I just got two quick things. One is you talk about sharing resources and what the village has been doing, and I want to let you know what we're doing at the fire district. Most fire districts have reserve equipment, whether it's an engine, a ladder truck, or an ambulance. Well, I reached out to the Frankfurt Fire Protection District and Lockport Fire District, and we started talking about reserve equipment. Do you have to have a reserve ambulance, and I have a reserve ambulance, and you have a reserve ambulance? Why do we have to have all this reserve equipment, and maybe we can start sharing equipment? So last month, the Fire District Board approved an agreement between Lockport, us, and Frankfurt that we are now going to share reserve equipment. What does that do? It saves money to the taxpayers, everyone here. It shows them that we're responsible with their money and we're doing everything to get the most bang for their buck. So, if a fire engine breaks, we might have a Frankfurt fire engine. It will be all Homer Fire personnel. And you'll see it pull up here and you probably wonder why it's Frankfurt out front here, or Lockport, but understand when they get off the rig, they're going to be carrying my patch, it'll be Homer Fire. So these are ways that we're looking to reduce costs. We're looking to see what resources we can share globally around the area, and we're moving forward in that direction. So I just wanted to report to you of some of the things that we're doing with the fire district. On a personal note, Mike, we've known each other for 13 years, not just professionally. I've had Mike as a patient twice. And I can't tell you enough how much, I admire you and just how you've carried yourself through this village. I've always looked up to you. I've always said, this guy needs to be a fireman. This guy has it. And lo and behold, his son became a fireman. And I looked at you and said, you know what, great family man, the way you carried yourself. We didn't always agree on things, but he was approachable. I could talk to him. Sometimes I could convince him, other times I didn't. But I admired that about you. We had common respect for each other. We were able to work together for the common good. Common good, the people, and what we could do for them. So I can't thank you enough for supporting public safety, Mike. It's been a pleasure knowing you, and I can't wait to see you throughout the community. and see that smile because you don't have to worry about going to a board meeting. Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
And Chris, now that I'm out of my second job, if there's a job offer as a fireman, we can talk after tonight.
When is the new board being sworn in?
So the new board will be sworn in on May 15th, Monday, and from that point on, they'll be doing regular meetings. First meeting will be in June 3rd, I believe.
Is that the old town hall?
That'll be at the fire district. So we'll put out an email, we'll let you all know. The old board we meet May 8th, the new board will be meeting May 15th. I'll let you guys know, I'll give you notification. All right? Thank you.
Village manager?
No report.
Thank you. All right, next is public comment.
Oh, is it?
We have fantastic.
Well, we got a big crowd, so I asked Dave to give me a hand. These little things he's passing out now, I get nothing but complaints in my area from people I know with this Illinois American Water. Now, Illinois American Water is going to sponsor something. I haven't really gotten into that, but I was reading this in the newspaper the other day. I think it might be worth our while to maybe get some volunteers to have a meter put on right after Illinois American's meter to test to see if the results from the second meter are the same as what are coming out of the first meter. Me and my wife live alone, and our bill changes by 1,000 gallons, but it never seems proper when it changes. Now, one year we were in Florida. Now, how can I use 1,000 gallons more when I'm in Florida? I mean, it's ridiculous, and I would think that something like that might be to the advantage of us when we negotiate with Illinois American Water. In other words, test some of their meters, you know, and it kind of help. I have another thing here. Here, Joe, just pass these around with you. That's kind of a just quick, take a look, and the brown part is where the grass died in this detention pond. Now, I've talked to Mike Simonolich over here earlier before the meeting. He said that the water was up to the top of the brown area for a year, Mike? At least. All right. I didn't think it was up to the top of that brown line, but from that brown line, that's all dead. It even killed some of the trees. I thought there might be some dumping from Meyer and Home Depot into that pond, which is behind Home Depot. So I suggest maybe we take a water sample and have it sent out just in case and have it tested to find out what's killing all the vegetation other than drowning it. So, and another thing, is there a chance with all this rain coming that you guys could clean out the white trail box culverts in Yankees Park again? All right, because when I walked down there the other day with my wife, she says, don't they ever clean these branches out? In other words, the one side is totally blocked, the other side is partially blocked. So with that, then the water has to go all the way around back to Little Cook Road and then through the park to get to where Longhorn Creek. All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Glen McGarry?
Hi, Lynn McGarry here for Belmar. Glen Area Chamber of Commerce, that's hard to say. I'm here, don't have any papers, but save the date, June 1st is our golf outing, ruffled feathers, 2 o'clock shotgun, and burgers and music afterwards, so please save that date. Also, this gives me the opportunity to say to Mike, thank you for your service. We really, really appreciate it. But everybody keeps talking about missing you. I hope we see you around.
Oh, you will.
I don't want to miss you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's it for public comment. Going to legislation and action items now. Jeremy, this is in two different motions. Are you looking for us to separate them, or I can do this one?
I prefer you do them in order, and then close one up, we can move on. That way it doesn't get, it seems in the past, some of these things are getting kind of convoluted. I prefer that we just finish one, we can move to the next.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve ordinance number 17-022, an ordinance granting a map amendment rezoning from R4 single-family residential to A1 agricultural, Chapter 220-502, and Attachment 1, Table 1B, Site and Structure Bulk Requirements for residential districts of the Code of the Village of Homer, Glen.
So moved.
That's Trustee Chiaverio. Second. Trustee Costa. Discussion?
Mayor, I just have a quick question now. Is the part where they have the covenants, is that one or two? Is that going to come under two?
Two.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay, so this one, we made the motion. Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Chiaverio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Darian?
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Number two, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 17-023, an ordinance granting approval of special use permit for a planned development, Chapter 220 zoning, Article 9, planned development, with the following exceptions. A, special use permit for a private park. B, building setbacks, a 40-foot side yard setback and a 40-foot rear yard setback, 30-yard front setback, and no side yard setback requirements on interior lot lines. C, 25-foot building separation. D, a variation from the exterior construction materials ordinance to allow for an exterior elevation construction for the three proposed buildings and any future building on a property to permit metal or wood finishing. E, impervious surface. Permit an impervious surface coverage of no more than 29%. All for certain real property located at 13341 West 151st Street, Homer, Glen, Illinois. Scott, Jeremy, and Daniel Bankston, DBA Extravaganza Land LLC. Case number HG 1705MS.
So moved.
Trustee Costa.
Second.
Trustee Chiaverio. Discussion.
The, relative to 2D, the variance to the construction material, is that similar, I mean, I see the drawings, but I haven't seen the color drawings. Is that similar to the structure that we granted for that White House, that white, you know, it was probably like 3 months ago, the variance?
That was a hardboard material.
Jeremy, you wanted to step up to the mic this way if there's something that comes
I
up.
think this is a hardboard material that Jeremy can answer.
If you want to answer that.
Oh,
The building that we're proposing to build, all of them are farm-themed buildings, typical to any agrarian building. Metal siding mostly, some would be cedar, all red in color, and silver roofs, same like structures that are all existing on the property now.
Any other questions? We have A through E.
Sharon, can you make sure your mic is on?
I'm sorry? Hold on here. Okay, I do have a couple, and then I think Trustee Rogers might have a few comments. I have a question on, this is the covenants on Exhibit B, and it states here that 50% or more of the sides of the structure are open during use. Fire suppression shall not be required. I feel this is more of a fire department safety issue, and I would like to see, that would be okay if they would give us written, if they approve it, if it's written approval, so that it's not, so that it's pretty.
Yeah,
We've had some meetings about it and we've talked about it. So like under section 5, there were some language changes that we wanted Mike to insert, and he was going to go ahead and do that. Also, under exhibit D, all existing structures be grandfathered in their current use. So yeah, we're already working, we're having meetings with each other about that, and we've talked many times. And
Okay, so that's gonna, the fire safety issue, if that was, you're addressing that,
yes,
so
we're actually, yes.
if it's in here and we approve this, we're okay with that.
Yeah, with those changes that we've talked about, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to, Sharon, we're going to make sure that there's language in there that anything that's an assembly use or mercantile use in the future would require sprinkler systems. So their existing uses, they currently use it, don't require sprinkler systems.
Okay. And then we'll see a copy of the updated.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay. Well, my other question was about the maximum number of buildings or structures, but I think I talked to the attorney just now, and I got that straightened out. Are you planning, beside the 3, are you planning on a lot of more additional ones?
No, currently we have no plans, but, 100 years is a long time, which is how long we plan to be here, so it's really hard to define the size and quantity or need for any sort of structures in the future. So we believe by saying that we'll follow all village codes and ordinances for stormwater and whatnot, that we'll be, keeping up to the rules that everybody holds, as a standard. We have a lot of coverage by already existing open water, wetlands and whatnot, so I don't believe we're going to be anywhere near all the commercial and other developments, the R4 developments that are still remnants of a previous administration of Homer Glen. So I think we'll always be far and above some of the high coverage limits that you've already given to lots of things in the village. So.
Okay. So they will, if they decide to build more buildings, they still have to come in for permits and things like that, even though it says no maximum, they still have to go through a process.
Correct. They would still need building permits, and they would still need to comply with stormwater requirements.
Right.
Both
Okay.
village, state, and federal.
Getting to my favorite topic. It also says that all, and this is, I have a little difficult of a time dealing with this one, but it says all existing on-site lighting, whether for site lighting purposes or ornamental, shall be grandfathered in, and all new proposed lighting shall be compliant with village code. Are you agreeing to that for future? And is there anything that we can work together with that maybe in the future, some of the pole lights that are on now, like close to 151st Street, because they don't shine 90 degrees down, they shine out to where the driver's lights can, maybe that's something in the future you could start looking at to work with?
Yeah, I guess speaking to that particular, in Exhibit D and in your, in our amendment, something that was attached and what you're referring to here, upon acceptance of the previous motion, 17022, which is the rezoning of our property to agriculture, our family farm will be considered to be exempt from the village's lighting regulations under the village light ordinance. However, in the future, we will do the best of our ability to have some portion of all the future proposed lighting be compliant with the village lighting ordinance and code, and all the things that we have that are, relic lighting in the future. Anything we would change, we would make our best effort to change something that we could, be more up to code. But we just we're going to, because we're agriculture, it won't be every single light fixture.
Right, because like a lot of some of the poles that are closest to 151st Street that you have lit now, they shine.
Now is in now, or now is in
now? No, like say now, because you do have some lighting around the property when I went past last week at night. Just for security, probably.
Okay.
Maybe you could, try to in the future turn those down 90 degrees.
Yeah, off-season lighting. Any off-season lighting seems, like we could make a great effort towards. During season lighting is a little more difficult because you're, trying to keep it safe for individuals in the parking. You're trying to keep it lit enough to sell fruit, that's judged by color. But off-season lighting, like the one you're referring to, I think we only have one light, Yeah, we could definitely get diverged from that
All right,
particular lane.
take a look.
Yeah.
And can I also ask you, and I'm not, when I'm headed east on 151st Street, I'm getting near Parker, and there's a bright white light that seems like it's in the middle of the property. I was just kind of curious what that is. It's like a globe. And it's almost, and I don't know if it was just, I was just curious.
It might be some optical illusion that might be in the neighborhood, to be honest, because I mean, we, in the center of our property especially, there's only 2 light bulbs in the whole property, I think, that are on at night and, you know, off season.
Okay. All right. That's all I got for the moment.
So are we amending that portion of the covenants?
Yes, I think there's maybe a couple of small amendments. If you want, I can walk you through a couple just to make sure.
Well, yes, we need to hear that. Because I didn't know there was more amendments.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, because there was a couple things talked about. Going back to what the fire department was discussing, section 5, compliance with all codes. At the end of that paragraph, we're going to add a comma and add in such as assembly and mercantile use. That would make sure that any future changes of either existing or future uses, if they're under those criteria, they would need to be in sprinkled structures.
Can you, I'm sorry, what page is that? Is that 7?
There's no page. It's,
Section.
I'm sorry, it's page 3 of 9. Section 5.
Go ahead, Mike, finish up.
Thank you.
Section 6, it's under revocation. At the end of that paragraph, we're going to put another comma, and we're going to state with a 30-day cure period through the village board to make sure it's clear of the process that the board would go through on any possible violations with the special use permit. It's just a clarification.
Repeat that one more time.
Sure. At the end of that paragraph, it's revocation. We're going to add a comma and add a sentence that says with a 30-day cure period established by the village board. So if there's a violation within special use, the board would identify what that would be, give a 30-day notice to the property owner to cure what the issue is prior to the village board considering any revocation at a board meeting. Just to clarify the process because it was a little vague. That's a standard language. We should just make that a change in all future special use agreements.
Any other questions?
Will you send a new, when that's revised, will you send?
We'll send an email version.
Okay.
Under Exhibit D, just so everybody's on the same page, this refers back to the fire department's question. The first item talks about all existing structures and site features will be grandfathered in. We're going to add the balance of that sentence in the current use. And again, that refers to the existing use. If the use changes and it becomes an assembly or mercantile use, the use would require sprinkler systems. We're just putting that in there to clarify what's being grandfathered and what's not. Under item 11, this goes back to the lighting comment. Based on what we heard in the second sentence where it says all new proposed lighting, we would adjust it to say some portion of new proposed lighting. It's based on what was just discussed.
Repeat that again?
We're in the second sentence. It's bullet point 11. It's talking about the lighting.
Right.
In the middle of the sentence where it says all new proposed lighting, based on the comments, we will change all to say some portion of.
Are you okay if we just keep the all?
Well, all's really limiting into the fact that any, like in the event, first of all, because we just changed the motion that you guys just approved makes us agricultural. The word all was written under the assumption that when we were residential before we decided to change the zoning. So now the zoning's been changed. The word all is really limiting considering that we are exempt entirely from the lighting ordinance. lines. So I believe a portion of it is you know, a great effort on our part to work with you, and keeping in mind that our business is, you know, charging an admission to view something that's aesthetically pleasing. We're going to make a great effort that all of our lighting is, you know, keeping in with the theme. However, some of the stricter codes for the dark sky require a full cover, and say like an 1800 style lantern, they weren't concerned with those things. So in the 1800s, those lanterns wouldn't be approved, which would disallow us to use things of that theme, which would really limit us for what we're doing in a themed attraction. And we're using, to keep in mind, we're using like 2 and 3 watt bulbs. You know, these are really not bright lights. They're yellow bulbs in a very themed glass. But
Okay,
that
when you
doesn't
said
make
lantern, you know, because we have some lantern lights, street lights.
No, these are like
they're
1800,
regular
it looks like
AC.
something that a guy would carry
Okay.
next to a horse. But that doesn't make that those, you know, the dark sky codes, because they don't have a can with them. So that really, the word all will really limit us from theming things.
Okay.
But as far as you're referring to large overhead lights, we're going to make a great effort in the future to do a lot more with the angles and things like
Okay,
that.
I'll trust your efforts to, you know, try to do what you can.
Well, I mean, I think we have a pretty good track record of 36 years with our neighbors. We've been, you know, I think only once ever where was a light like the one you're referring to brought to our attention, and it was just a matter of, you know, a breaker that we didn't know was set to what it was set, and we turned it off right away. You know, and we've made a great effort to do lots of plantings and things to screen our neighbors and help them and work with them for what they do and don't want. You know, without our neighbors, we don't really have a comfortable business every day, so we want them happy as well.
Thank you.
Mayor, I want to clarification. It was talked about, and I'm not sure anything changed, but I want to make sure it's page 3 of 9, impervious surface. It's listed as 29% of the subject property. I didn't hear a number change or anything like that.
I would like to suggest that we could, after the planning commission, we had chosen a percentage of coverage of impervious surface. The original wording was vague, and the planning commission brought to our attention that, you know, based on precedents, we don't want the village to have to vote on anything that gives somebody carte blanche in the future landowners. However, for us now to make a 100-year plan is improbable and impractical, both economically and just feasibly to understand where we're going to be in 100 years. And I look at things like Elmhurst that recently passed an ordinance that considers open water impervious. And if anybody's familiar with our property, we already have about 15 acres of open water, which would put us over the limit that you've given us. And I'm not saying that anybody can predict what will and won't happen, but in the event that that change were to be made and we had a less favorable administration that wouldn't grant us some sort of variance, we would immediately be, you know, in the revocation section of this, and our PUD would be revoked based on coverage. Also, again, with buildings, I have no idea in 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years where we'll be with coverage. I know that we won't be covering 100%. It's just improbable. It's a farm. There's not very much farming about under a roof. And if it isn't, I'm sure everybody have been okay with that somewhere along the way. Maybe we'll all be in domes by then. But I just think that the 39% is a lot more pliable for us to do the things we want to do without constantly bothering the board and having to ask for variances one thing at a time. That kind of defeats the purpose of what the PUD is there to do.
Can you explain a little bit more the Elmhurst example?
I just recently read, you know, because I was trying to figure out what an appropriate number would be for us, and it's, like I said, it's really, you look at some commercial projects are 80 and 90 because they have underground storage tanks, which, you know, we have no vision of doing, but I was looking for something that'd be appropriate, and I noticed in Elmhurst that they, all residential coverages, as you guys had gotten rid of R4 in the past, they wanted to reduce their total coverage for their village, and they started making open pools considered impervious for residential. That kind of limited them so that people would build less rooftops, less driveways, and have to go to more brick coverings and things like that. So if something extreme like that were ever taken in Homer Glen, it would put us in a really tight spot considering all the open water that we have on our property.
Anything else?
How do we put the amendments? Are they?
Mike already has a pretty
I've got a list of the amendments. I've talked to the attorney about some. We will clean up the agreement. I just wanted to put it on record of the changes that were being proposed. And I believe you would have to re-motion under the proposed changes if that's what the board wishes.
Yeah, first and the second.
Okay, so Mike, you made the first, Carla, you made the second, so you want to just go along with approving the motion with changes to the...
Yes, yeah, approve the motion, yeah, as amended.
I will second as stated.
Okay, discussion is done, so, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Is that still staying the same?
Aye.
Trustee Barrett?
Aye.
Trustee Nasby?
Unfortunately, I have to abstain due to the fact that I work for a similar business, much smaller, but similar, so I do have to abstain.
Okay, with that motion carries. The property looks great. You've come a long way with what's been done over there. You've taken care of water runoff from the two subdivisions behind you, so we thank you very much for that. And go ahead and put up your buildings.
Jeremy, how much longer do you think the underground work or the sewer work will be out there?
We seeded today. We seeded actually a day ago, and we strawed today. And we put erosion control out today, so it's a hayfield now. So we were just cleaning out the silt and the old, that path had been built up over the years of Bill McHenry, and then also just like 8 years of negligence. So we just wanted to clean out all the silt. Now you can see it's already dry. The water is allowed to flow, and hopefully the neighbors' yards, begin to dry.
It's not really my place, but I've been a neighbor for 19 years, and thank you for being a great neighbor.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks, Constance. All right, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 17-024, an ordinance adopting the Village of Homer Glen's budget for fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2017, and ending April 30th, 2018, Homer Glen, Illinois? So moved. Trustee Caprio.
Second.
Trustee Burrian. Discussion. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barrett?
Aye.
Trustee Nasby?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the IDOT resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway?
I'm sorry, can I just make one quick comment? Sure. Because I think it's important. When we look around the various levels of government, certainly that we're all within, I think as we pass the budget, it's a blueprint. Nothing's been expended, but it's a blueprint for this town. I think as we look at the state, as we look at Washington, as we look at the city of Chicago, and we see all these levels of government that are in insane levels of debt and overspending and can't pay their bills. And Illinois is probably the biggest example right now of no state in the history of the country has gone 2 years without a budget, and we're on the verge of that. So I use all of that as sort of the comparison here of the financial management of this town long before I've sat at this dais. And John has certainly done a great job along with our staff of helping lead the charge on this. But I just think this is one of those times where we should pat ourselves on the back as a community, not as a board or not as a mayor, but as a community, about the what I think is good conservative fiscal governance of this town. And when you look at the numbers in this budget, or when we do this, when we go through accounts payable or the money on hand, we can put this up against any town around us and any town in the area. And I think we talked about some of the uses and the lieutenant governor coming to town and the accolades of efficient use of government. I think this is another example of where this town is an example for others of the way we manage our money, and this budget is that blueprint as we go forward for the next year. Nothing's perfect, but again, as we look at a state that's crumbling and a federal government that is severely in debt, and a city of Chicago that can't pay its bills, this is a shining example, and I just want to take 1 second to make that point.
We agree.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And great job, John.
Thank you, thank you.
No debt, no debt.
Yeah, the village should be proud of it, the residents should be proud of it. It's really nice to be able to present. And I'd like to thank the staff for all their help in compiling the data to put together too. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to approve IDOT resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code for streetlight maintenance within the village of Homer Glen?
So moved.
Trustee Costa?
I'll second.
Trustee Sweet, discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Gabriel?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Mansky?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, is there a motion to extend the current contract of Lions Pinner Electric Companies for an additional year for streetlight maintenance within the village of Homer Glen? It is understood that the unit cost per street light will remain the same as last year.
So move.
Trustee Gabriel,
I'll second.
trustee Sweet, discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Mansky?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Gabriel?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the renewal of an agreement with G4S to perform utility location services for the village of Homer Glen as part of the joint utility locating information for excavators Julie program?
So moved.
Trustee Costa?
A second.
Trustee Gabriel, discussion? I had one question. John, the other day when I was signing the checks, we had one for G4 and we had one for Julie. And I didn't understand why we would have two of them, seeing they both do the same thing.
You know what, I gave it to Gina Spino to investigate, and she needs to talk to Jim Olkowski. And so we're still working on that.
I still have the job.
Okay, yeah, because actually another check
It was a great question, and I don't quite understand why we have a different vendor doing what seems to be the same thing. So, yeah, input, Mike?
There is a kind of a fee to be part of the Julie. That's the location service where they kind of administer the calls and contact each of the utility companies that are appropriate. And then we have our specific locating company, G4S, that actually does the locates for us. So that would be the reason for the two different costs. It should be I think it's a one-time thing. It's not.
Well, that's why I asked. This is the first time I saw it, but then I also signed 2 checks for Julie. So do you know what the second check is for? That's only Gina's looking into? Okay, just so we know we're on top of that.
Just to piggyback on that, because, it's spring and everybody's doing their planting and things like that, I think it's important that we reinforce on our Facebook page and our village page that, residents need to call Julie, that there is no fee. I think sometimes people are thinking that, if they call Julie before they dig this tree up, that there's going to be a fee associated with it. So I think it's just important that we emphasize that this time of year.
Call before you dig. Okay, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Gabriel? Trustee Mansky?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? The next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing 1, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, 5 ILCS 120-2C-2, and 2 for appointment removal for a public office, 5 LCS 120-2C3.
So moved.
Discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Gabriel?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Mansky?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going into executive session. We'll take a 5-minute break.